Welcome back, everybody. It's another new guitar day, and you can just tell by Kitty's posing that it's very hot today. She says, "Sir, I am quite hot." This is what a hot cat looks like. Yeah, she says, "I'm just really hot." But I had to invite her in to start off our video. I'm going to pop her back outside because, yeah, she's a little cranky. She says, "Sir, I got woken up by a nap just to do this, but I'm cooperative, so we'll be right back." Okay, so we're back. Once again, the minimal boxing. It's hard to believe that this is listed on UPS as having a shipping weight of 13 pounds. Someone was definitely over-enthusiastic on the scale, because there's no way. My jazz guitar that I got last weekend came in at 7 pounds, and I can't imagine that this guitar weighs much more than that. And again, Grote is famous for their minimal packing. Somehow they seem to survive the trip. This came all the way, obviously began its journey in China, and then ended up at an Amazon distribution center in a place called Alton, Pennsylvania. So it's been whizzing across the country, going through multiple time zones, and yeah, showed up today. Quite late. UPS is an absolute joke. But this is Grote's version of the ES335. And surprise, surprise, the neck brace is actually, they glued it down. Somebody got wise. Well, let's see if it made a big difference. Oh, they didn't glue it down, but it held on. Okay, well that's good. Hopefully that means that we've got a guitar that doesn't have a broken headstock. These are pretty rugged guitars for the most part. At least they've demonstrated themselves to be thus far. And boy, you can feel the warmth of it, but it's not like a winter guitar. I'm not sure. The house isn't that cool, so it's not like it's going from an extreme temperature change, although in the truck it's probably shake and bake in that truck. You can feel that the shroud is sort of melted to the guitar. I mean, you can imagine how many time zones this guitar goes through. Climate changes, ships, shipping containers. If it shows up in halfway decent shape, it's pretty amazing to say the least. So, gaze upon the beauty. It's a little redder up here than I would have thought, so it's more of a T-burst. And again, we're just going to do the quick forensic, looking for the obvious stuff, cracks, headstock cracks. Don't see anything, don't feel anything. They still got a little fancier on the truss rod cover. So I'm going to take a 2-minute break and do a forensic, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I want to tune this thing up and give it a play. There's a couple minor cosmetic issues, but as far as the bulk of the guitar goes, you know, there's certainly, not that I can see any cracks or any breakage or anything, so it's survived its trip. I'll be a little more in depth when I come back anyways. I know I mentioned it too many times, but just in case I forgot to mention, it is July the 30th, 2020. It's about 5:30 in the afternoon, and we'll be back. Okay, we're back. I just tuned up the guitar, stretched the strings a couple times, and played it for about an hour and a half. And once again, I'm absolutely stunned. Again, you have to keep everything in context of value, that this guitar sells brand new with free shipping for $159. The fit and the finish is really well done. Again, I think I already mentioned the fret ends are smooth as can be. I've had guitars costing 3, 4, 5 times as much with not as much attention to detail. There's no scratchiness on the frets. They feel polished. You get a little bit of the dirty finger syndrome, which is probably more than likely the strings. I'm going to give them a cleaning and eventually change them. But again, it's just really amazing the value of the guitar. In my humble opinion, in my experience with cheap budget, whatever you want to call them, guitars, that you can get away with it, a bit more cheapness, if that's the right word, on single coil pickups. For some reason, to my ear, on humbuckers, you can hear the difference big time between a cheap humbucker and a more expensive one. But keep in mind, you could easily go out and buy a couple Gibson 57 pickups for more than this guitar's worth. The controls are smooth. There's not a lot of control. It rolls off really quick. When you hit the treble, it's either on or off. Again, to be expected in a budget guitar. But overall, absolutely satisfied. I went over it with a fairly fine-tooth comb and did not find anything exceptionally glaring. There's a little bit of a cosmetic issue on the binding right here, but you just, so what, you know. So once again, Grote hits the guitar out of the ballpark. I just got this one last week. It had major tuner issues. Grote's being very generous in sending me a new batch. They'll still be the cheap ones, but my experience is that, you know, even within a batch of tuners, some are better than others, and the ones on this one not so good. This one a little notchy, a little slippy, but once you get it in tune, it stays in tune, and that's really all you can ask for. So I'm going to give it an absolute thumbs up. And of course I'll spend a little more time with it, play a little more. Something that wasn't on the other one, the little upgraded feature, the truss rod cover. Now it has, it's not in focus, but it says Grote. And yeah. So if you're considering buying this guitar, they're out of stock right now. This is sort of Firefly's main competition. I've never played a Firefly. From what I understand, Harley Benton has a comparable model. A little more expensive, maybe a little more bang for the buck. It's hard to say. Again, I'm sort of an aficionado. For the cheap guitar, action could come down a little, but there's room for it on the bridge, so just dial that down a touch. I don't mind if the action's a little high personally. So anyways, it's very, very hot outside, so this is going to be probably my quickest video to date. So this is the Grote. I think they also call this a jazz guitar. Obviously it's a copy, a rendition, an homage to the ES335. I just sold an Epiphone 339, smaller body, and this is lighter, and I appreciate that. I appreciate the lightness. I know some people just feel like they turn into toys when they're light. I prefer a light guitar. Again, the fit and the finish, the pick guard, you know, a little rough over here if you were to put your hand under there, but you know, nothing a little sandpaper won't clean up and improve the quality of. So there you go. And for the final time, to drive everybody nuts, it is July the 30th, 2020. About 7:30 in the evening, still 93 degrees outside, no air conditioning in here, so we're pushing 90 degrees. It's almost time to open up the windows. Thank you for joining us for another new guitar day. And that is all. Welcome back. It is July 31st, 2020. I just wanted to add a little addendum to this video. Since I've now had this guitar for not quite 24 hours, but I've been able to play it another 3 or 4 hours. And I just wanted to add that it's really an incredible guitar in its own right. I mean, the fact that it's as inexpensive as it is certainly a huge plus. But you could pay quite a bit more and still not get as nice a guitar. The fit and the finish is just spectacular. The tone is really nice. Again, it's the cheapest of everything that you could possibly get, and yet if you just take some time and dial the guitar in and dial your amp in to suit your taste, it really produces really pretty sounds. And then keep in mind too, these are the stock strings, and I'm sure they're the cheapest strings in the world. And if and when I get over being a tightwad and I put new strings on this guitar, I'm sure that'll improve it too. I've made no adjustments at all. I'm going to lower the action a little bit. I'm going to check the relief on the neck. I might adjust the pickups a little bit. And I can only imagine that that will possibly improve it even more, if that's possible. So anyways, just wanted to add this. Great value. They're sold out again. I'm sure they're going to make another run. The only thing I wish they would have done, which is a small thing, but I wish they would have put a jack plate. But, hey, for $159, what do you want? Live without a jack plate. The original Gibsons didn't have jack plates. I don't even know if the new ones do. So, there you go. That's all. Thank you. Goodbye.